friends, and welcome to the Daily Creative Challenge on Adobe Illustrator. My name is Julia Masalska and I'm your host for these 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for joining. I can see a lot of familiar faces. We have Wade, we have Matt, we have R, Amy, Pia. Awesome, so many familiar faces here. Good to see you guys. So, for the past 1.5 weeks, we've been working on a festival branding, and even today we're going to be creating an asset for our festival. So I have seen a bunch of amazing projects going on. Hi Tunj, hi Michelle, Cindy, Danilo joining us, and Keith is here as well. Thanks for joining. Drop your coffee emoji to support me mentally in my spilling journey. I don't know, for some of you who follow me on Instagram, by the way, it's Julia Masalska if you want to follow me, just like so. I have had a couple coffee spilling accidents. Maybe I should stop drinking coffee, or maybe start drinking it from very small cups. Anyway, so good to have all of your support here. Send me a coffee cup emoji, please. And so we are going to work on something really cool today. We are going to be working on a festival wristband. As you can see now, mine is still empty, but we are going to be working on it today, and hopefully by the end of the day I will already have a printed festival wristband. So let's jump right into it and let's take a look at our daily creative challenge page here. It's on behance.net/challenge/illustrator, and this is where you will find all the information necessary to participate in the Daily Creative Challenge. Yay! Thanks for all the emojis, and Wade, thanks for sharing the Instagram link. Cool! Stella is saying, I like your eye color. Thank you so much. Well, let's get started. And as you can see, unfortunately, we have only 2 more challenges left until Friday, but no worries. Even next week, there will be still daily creative challenges, just with a different host. So today we're working on a wristband, and to get the starter file, you just click on this little get started button right here. And this is how you will get the Illustrator file that we are going to be working on today. So this is it, and as you can see, I already kind of created a little mock-up for you guys, as usual, to put your designs on it, and so that you guys can, export it very easily. Cool, I see a lot of coffee cups here. Thank you so much, Carissa. Happy birthday! Carissa is saying it's her birthday, so everybody say happy birthday, Carissa. Awesome. All right, so let's get started, and I am going to take a look at my little mood board that I have created for my festival. But feel free to create any kind of mood board for your festival. Create your own brand. If you're new to this, if you're new to Illustrator, feel free to follow along and to just do exactly what I'm doing. I don't have no problem whatsoever. I just want you all guys to practice new tools and see what you can do and what you can fabricate with Adobe Illustrator. Alright, so opening the file, I'm just going to go ahead and start, creating shapes, and I'm going to create a little sticking element here. As you know, some of the wristbands have those little stickers, so that I'm just going to create something that looks visually similar to this. So I'm grabbing the rectangle tool, and I'm just pulling a rectangle that's slightly in a distance to the end of the wristband. So and I'm going to make it white. And so now on top of that, I'm going to put some squiggly lines, as it usually looks. So I'm just going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to make a line holding shift. And holding shift, it already allows you to create a straight line, and you can either go vertically or you can go horizontally. Holding shift will help you create a line that's in a 90-degree angle. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go onto Effect, Distort and Transform, and I want to create a zigzag. So I am going to create the zigzag, but first I will need to add some color to this, because right now it's white on white and I won't be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to make the outline black, and I'm going, oh, actually didn't make it black. Okay, now it should be black. Okay, now I have the black outline, and I'll make sure here in the color settings that my filling is a nonce, because I don't need no filling right now. And I'm going into my properties panel. If that panel is not appearing for you, you can go onto Window and then click here on Properties to activate the Properties panel. That panel is always very helpful for seeing the settings for the specific tool you're using. So awesome. Cool. Pia saying I love the festival theme. Me too. I'm missing all the outdoor activities and all the concerts and festivals that you can do in the summertime usually. But now since we have this COVID situation, unfortunately, we can only dream about it. But I think it's a good way to kind of imagine how this will be, and maybe next year we can participate in some festivals and some music events. Okay, so I'm applying an effect, distort and transform, and I'm clicking on zigzag, and now I'm creating this zigzaggy line. I'm extending it a little bit. I'm multiplying the ridges per segment, and I'm making the size a little bit smaller just to make it look more realistic, like this. And now I can either make it smooth, or I can make a corner, but I'm going to just keep it like that for now. And I'm going to make, so now as you can see, I have it starting on one side and ending on the other side. But if I increase the amount of ridges per segment by 1, I have it finish on the same side. So this is exactly what I want. Okay, and now what I want to do is I just want to copy paste these zigzags to make it, you know, look realistic. And I'm clicking Option, holding the Option key and dragging it to the side. And now I can click Command and D to repeat my last action, and this will allow me to quickly create something like this, like a zigzaggy line repetition. Now what I want to do is I want to lock my my mockup objects here, my 2 rectangles. So I can just use the select tool, and I'm selecting both of these, clicking Command and 2, and now they're not coming into my way anymore. Now I can concentrate on my design. So what I want to do is I want to select my zigzaggy lines and my rectangle. Let's place them perfectly in the middle, just like so. Okay, so now I want to select all of those and copy paste them into my other design. So I'm just holding Option and clicking and dragging it to the next wristband. Now we already have something that already looks like a realistic wristband. So now let's get to the design of it. I'm going to group these with Command and G and Command and 2 to lock them into place. Command and G and Command and 2 to lock them into place so that I can design on top and I will not affect those anymore. Okay, so now what I want to do is, my friends, I want to use similar shapes that I've been using in the past challenges, but we are also going to be working with a gradient tool today. So let's start with a background gradient, and I'm using the rectangle tool and pulling the rectangle from one side to all the way to the other side of my wristband. And here I still have my outlines on, I don't need them. And the fill color is going to be a gradient, so I'm using the gradient tool here in the left panel. By the way, to add tools to your panel, you can simply click on those 3 dots that says Edit Toolbar, and this is where you can just drag and drop tools into your toolbar. I have almost all of them right here, so I have nothing to pull in, but you can modify your toolbar and, you know, make it for yourself. Alright, so I'm having a gradient inside this rectangle, and here on the right side in my properties panel you will already find the gradient type settings. I want it to be a linear gradient, so I'm just clicking on linear gradient. And now the magic part comes where I'm pulling in my branding, and this is where I'm going to access my libraries and I'm going to pick from my colors. So each of us, I think, has their own color palette, so I'm just going to go from dark blue to light blue. So to select those colors, I'm just going to select this little dot here and click on my library and click on that color. But you can also, to change the gradient color, you can also double click it, and this is where you can also apply a different color to the gradient. The cool thing about gradients is that you can not only work with 2 colors, you can also work with multiple colors. So here, as you can see, I have, when I'm going close to the gradient selected of course, I see this little plus sign. So if I click on that, I will get another extra gradient dot where I can determine the color for. So I can even go ahead and I can make it a completely different color, you know, to make it a little bit more interesting. But for now, I'm just going to, or actually, let's just keep it. This kind of looks interesting. I'm going to push it a little bit to the right side. Also, this helps us, let's say if you have a color gradient that has 2 very different colors. Let me copy paste this to show it to you guys. So if you go into properties, edit gradient, if you have some really different colors here, let me delete this one for now. You can double click, and let's say you have yellow color and you have a red color. here you will have an orange, but if you have, for example, a black color, you will have this area in the middle that's kind of grayish. So you want to avoid that, and you can select another color in addition to that to make this gradient a little bit more smooth. So you can click onto plus, double click it, and I don't know, you can select another color to kind of smooth and blend it in better. And that already looks kind of way more appealing than before, right? So yeah, make sure to make your gradients nice and smooth. And from here, I'm going to copy paste my gradient holding the option button, and I'm going to use it for another design, but I am going to edit the gradient and I'm going to adjust the colors to a different gradient, because we have a regular wristband and we have a VIP. We have a visitor and we have a VIP wristband. So that will be another color, and I guess I'm going to go from yellow maybe to this red color, and I'm going to adjust this blue maybe, let's say maybe to this orange. Okay, yeah, I think that could work. So again, I'm using this third color to make this gradient nice and smooth. What you can also do with gradients, which is also really exciting, is you can make the gradient have a different, you can make a freeform gradient where you can even pull the points wherever you like them to be. So let's say I have this point here and it has a certain color. I can adjust it by double clicking, of course, and I can pull these points and literally modify the gradient the way I would like it to be. So if you guys want to experiment with that for your brand, feel free to do that. It's a really exciting way to make the gradient even more interesting. Okay, so now I have my two gradients, and now I'm going to pull, actually let me work on this color a little bit here. This color seems to be a little bland. Let's make it a little bit more shiny. Yeah, this could work. Okay, oops, okay. So now we have these two gradient colors, and now I'm going to adapt my design, my branding that I have used previously for my designs. My branding is very geometrical. It has very poppy colors, and those overlays of color are creating this exciting theme that I'm working with for my festival. So I'm just going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to pull in a little rectangle here. I'm going to make this rectangle one of my brand colors, so I'm going into libraries and I'm going to make it this light pink. And what I want to do is I want to object transform and shear my rectangle. So here I can have a preview. If you click the preview button, you will be able to see where this goes. So now I have a little 20-degree angle. I think that will work perfectly for me. And I can place those right here on my wristband, maybe make them a little bit smaller, just like so, and maybe a little bigger and a little further away from the edge to make it a little bit more interesting. And now I'm going to hold the option key, drag it to the side, and copy paste the object, and click Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D. And now I have this action going on with the little lines, and now I'm just going to grab them all, click Command and G to group them. And I'm going to hold the option key and drag them to my other design, because I want to create a cohesiveness between my designs, right? So this one I'm going to make blue so that you can see the difference between the colors. And maybe we can even experiment right here. What color can work best? I think the pink was already a pretty good decision. Maybe a red. Oh yeah, the red actually looks really good here. So now what I want to do is I want to create some more circles here to, to adjust the design also. Or actually, let me create some color blocks just like I did in the previous designs. So I'm going to grab a rectangle tool or just, I think it's called the rectangle tool. And I'm going to create a little background for these lines here. I'm going to pull it to the side just like so. And I'm going to make it I can make it any color I want actually. So I'm going to make it this pink, and I'm going to right click on the rectangles, on the shared rectangles, and bring them to front. Right click, arrange, bring to front, just like so. And now I'm just going to copy paste the same thing over here. As you can see, making repetitions in design can be really helpful to create a cohesiveness. and to make a design look like it belongs together, right? Although we're using different colors and so on. So now we have this gradient kind of separated, and I'm really liking this right now. So what I want to do now is I want to create a little clipping mask for these rectangles, or I can just size it down, of course, if I want to. That will work as well, because I'm feeling lazy right now. But to make a clipping mask, what you can do is you can pull a rectangle just the way you want to cut these shared rectangles, like that, and you have to put these rectangles to the front, arrange, bring to front, and I'm going to select this other rectangle in the back, and properties, make clipping mask. Oh, actually it was the other way. So the rectangle has to be on top, so like this, and then I'm selecting the shared rectangles underneath as well, and I'm clicking make clipping mask. Now I have this effect going on. Okay, so my friends, let me go a couple redo, and redo. Okay, I don't need that one. So I'm just going to scale these down over here, like so. All right, so now we have these backgrounds going on that are actually pretty cool looking. And now I want to add some text. So this is where we are bringing in all of our festival information, and we are using the type tool here. I'm going to use the type tool, and in my libraries, I have already my character styles selected that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to write that festival was on August 23rd, I believe, 08/23. Oh, I'm not typing. 08/23, and it's going to be not this year, but maybe next year. Who knows? Hopefully we'll have something interesting going on next year. Okay, so I have this typeface here, and you know, I'm going to make it a little bit more interesting. So this typeface is called Cade Bold. And now what I want to do is I want to make those dashes or those slashes. I want to make them in a thinner typeface. So I'm going to go and select regular for those. So I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm selecting regular. And as you can see now, the numbers pop out more, and it kind of creates this very interesting feel to it. And I'm going to decrease the size a little bit of these numbers, because they're not the primary information, and also they have to fit onto our wristband. So I'm going to place them on top of my design up here, just like this. And you know what? Now I can see that there is some kind of relationship happening. Can you see the slashes and my lines here? That they kind of have this little crossing going on. So what I want to do is I want to click Command Shift and O. I want to outline my typeface, and I'm going to go in and adjust those so they fit perfectly into my design. And I'm going to make them parallel to those lines that I have created before. So my design will be super perfect here. And if you have this snapping going on where you not really freely can move things, it's because it's either set to snap to pixel, snap to point, or snap to grid. So I would turn all of these off, but I would definitely keep the smart guides on, because those are very helpful. And now I am just going to make it parallel to my other dashes. Perfect. So now I'm kind of liking my design. I can even work out these lines a little bit more, since I have been so occupied with those so far. I can even make them in my gradient. So now let me pull those a little bit to the top, and I'm going to go in and select these and pull them to the top just a little bit with my keyboard, just like so. And now it already kind of has this interesting feel to it. I can even just go ahead and select those two and pick a color from my libraries, just like that, or maybe a darker tone. Let's see what will work. It's all about experimenting, my friends. You can never create something outstanding when you're not experimenting. And now I'm going to copy paste this date to my other wristband, holding Option, and now I have it right here, and I'm going to place it in the same segment, just like so. And now I'm going to adjust those colors here just because I want to make them match my other wristbands. So I'm going to make them yellow. And maybe I can even adjust the colors of my numbers as well. So I can go in and select all my numbers that I want to change the color for. And I can make them, let's say, this red. Yeah, this kind of looks very, very interesting already. And how about the numbers? How about making the numbers a different color here? How about a little experimenting? And this looks kind of cool as well. So I'm going to keep this like that, and I'm going to add some more information here, and it's going to be a VIP access and VIP. Okay, by the way, my keyboard is kind of a little sticky right now, so bear with me. Access, hopefully this is spelled correctly, VIP access, and I'm going to place this right here on my wristband. Which one's going to be the VIP? I think this one is going to be the VIP access. Okay, and I'm going to hold Option and carry this one also to the other wristband. And here I'm going to write visitor. Okay. So now let's see, maybe we can change the color here to something more exciting. Okay, now I have this red going on. Maybe I can make it even larger here. Maybe I can make it even a larger typeface. 60. It has to be very well legible, of course, although the colors already help the personnel of the festival to recognize who is the visitor and who has the VIP access, just because the colors of these two designs are so different. So I'm going to click the eyedropper tool. You can use the eyedropper not only for colors, for gradients, but you can also use it for typefaces. So now I have my typeface selected, and I want it to be looking exactly the same way like the one at the top. So I'm clicking the typeface at the top, and I already have the same character style applied to my VIP access pass. Cool. So, but I want to still have my VIP access in this darker blue color, just so that there is enough contrast for it to be legible. All right, guys, so let's play around with how we can place those things, right? So now I have it kind of a little bit more on the left side, but I want it to be more on the right side, just a little bit more centered, just like so. And the same thing actually already happens here. I'm going to leave that one like that, just so we have enough space here at the bottom. All right, now I'm going to group all of those objects of my design, and I'm going to click Command and G, and I'm going to do the same thing at the top. I'm going to select my text here, my numbers, my dashes or my slashes, however you call them, and my little rectangle and my visitor text, and Command and G, and we already have a group. Awesome. All right, now I want to unlock all the other objects, clicking Option, Command, and 2. And now you can see I already have these little things appear here. So I want to put my gradients at the bottom, clicking both of them, holding Shift, and right-click, Arrange, Send to Back. Now I have my gray popping up with the shadow. So these are my mock-up rectangles. I'm going to select both of them, holding Shift, and I'm going to right-click, Arrange, Send to Back. So now we have these perfectly designed passes already fit into our mockup, and I'm going to even play around a little bit more here. I'm going to place this little part here, holding Option. I'm going to place it to the other side because I want it to look a little different. Okay, so now I want to group those. Select all of it and click Command and G, and now you can move it around freely without losing any parts of the design. Command and G. And now what you can do is you can also just create something similar to what we've created yesterday. So you can just create copies, clicking Option. You can create copies of these so it looks like those passes are actually laying on the table, and feel free to also add a background color to this, so that it looks even more realistic. So now what I want to do is I want to click File, Export As, and I'm going to export it to my desktop, use artboards, and I'm going to select it as a PNG, challenge 7, export in RGB. Okay. All right, my friends. So now what I want to do is I want to go to our Discord channel, which is where we post our work, which is where we share all of our amazing designs. You can get to that by clicking community chat here in our behance.net/challenge/illustrator page, or you can also go onto this link. It's bit.ly/AI Discord, and this is where we share our work and give each other feedback, so feel free to post the work here. And I'm going to go into the challenge hashtag. This is very important. Post your work under the challenge hashtag, and I'm going to click the little plus, and I'm going to select my artwork challenge 7. There we go, choose, and I'm going to write my challenge of today. There we go, upload, and my challenge submission is already there in the Discord channel. So I am looking forward to your guys' submissions. Make sure to submit those under the challenge hashtag. And if you want, feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's Julia Masalska right here, and you can see all my spelling accidents and my dog. So I'm always happy to give you guys some feedback in case you have a portfolio to review or anything. So feel free to send that along as well. And if you need some feedback on the challenge Discord, make sure to tag me so I don't miss your post, and I can give you guys some amazing feedback. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.